Good afternoon. This is Arlo Johnson from Vernon, BC, August the 5th, 2024. I'm going to talk to you today about my thoughts on things that, actually bothers me a bit that I didn't know this before. I mean, I'm going on, over 90 years old now, and it took me like, 87, 88 years before I actually knew anything about these things. And I don't understand that. I mean, I went to church for years at the Lutheran church, and not until I got involved with this group from North Carolina. They are on the internet a lot. They have tons of material that you can get free of charge, and they have preachers every big town around Canada, North America, Australia, New Zealand, basically white race countries, I guess. But their take on things was not totally, but a lot different than what I was being told in the mainline Lutheran churches and stuff like that. For instance, I never read the book of Revelation until I was 80 some years old. I don't know, 85, 88. I never read it. Why? Why wasn't it pointed out to me that I should read that? To me, that's the powerhouse book of the Bible. It's the last book of the Bible. It has more information in there than a lot. And it's the last book, the last message that Jesus Christ made to the world. Now, in a nutshell, it says that God is going to phase out this world, that there's going to be a tribulation, there's going to be a time of Jacob's trouble, which means the Israelite race. And as far as I can tell, the white race is the result of the Israelite. Comes from the Israelite race. Every white person is an Israelite. Now, why do I say that? Because the Bible is a story about one family. The family of Adam. That's what it's about. And it goes on to say that God created Adam, and then he created Eve out of the rib of Adam, and it goes on, the whole history goes on. Now, okay, when the story gets to Abraham, God deals with Abraham, and he says, take your son, take him up to this place and sacrifice him to me. And Abraham takes his son, takes his donkey with a bunch of wood on it, and goes up on the mountain where he's supposed to go, gets the wood ready, and lays his son on the wood. He was 10 or 12 years old then, and raises up his knife, and he's going to kill him, to sacrifice him. And just as his knife is up in the air, God says, hold it, don't do it. And he says, being you do what I ask you to do, I'm going to make you a great nation, and then whatever. And he goes on and says all the things. And the Abrahamic promise that God made to Abraham was a great promise. It was, you know, his descendants would be the sand of the sea, and great riches, and riches of the deep, and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, Israel went along, and Jacob had 12 sons. And for some reason, that's the basis for Israel. And they became 12 tribes of Israel. Now, Israel is God's land. He said that is his land on this planet. And the Israelites are his children, are his people. But they drifted away and did all kinds of things wrong. And he had to, well, first of all, they split up. 2 tribes stayed in the south, Benjamin and Judah. And then the other 10 tribes split to the north, and they called it Israel. And you know, it goes on explaining a whole bunch of things and how they mucked up too. And God says that you know, you're going to be I'm going to take away your promises. And then he had the Assyrians actually attack the 10 tribes of northern Israel and take them captive. And they took them captive, and at that time, now we have to remember this, there was 6 million in northern Israel. 6 million. And he said they will take them, and they will have to wait 2,520 years for the promise that God made to Abraham to come to effect. They're going to have to wait because they broke his laws. Now, the Assyrians took them into Assyria and into Iraq and across in there, and they just kept moving. God said they're going to forget who they are. They're not going to realize who they are. And they're going to travel through west, 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 moving and moving and moving. And that's exactly what they did. When they say, "Are you a Caucasian?" I've often thought, why do they ask me that? I don't know anything about that. But obviously, that's what they're referring to. They traveled through the Caucasian mountains and kept traveling west into Europe. You know, these kind of things come up, and it just kind of amazes you when you actually find out about them. Now, anyway, they traveled back into Europe and Scandinavia and down into the Isles of Ireland, Scotland, England, and all that. And they were all white race. I don't think there's hardly anybody else. So, in 2,520 years, they multiplied and multiplied till they got to the point where there was so many of them they had to immigrate. And where did they immigrate to? Well, they had found North America, and you know, some of them were there early from England. There were some that immigrated early there. Now, when they immigrated to the United States and Canada, in this country, the Indians roamed this country, North America, for thousands of years. And, in some movie John Wayne had, I think he was saying, what are all these Indians doing on my land? Well, I mean, he said it's a joke, but I think he hit it on the head. I think North America and Australia and New Zealand and whatever were all held in reserve for the Israelites that were going to flood in. Now, that's not a guess or a whatever. It's not a guess. It's a fact. That's the exact history of it. That's what happened. And Canada became a white race nation, and the United States, and Australia, and New Zealand, and Europe, England, Ireland, Scotland, all that. And God said, I will sift them out of the nations. This is God speaking. He said, I will sift them out of the nations, and I won't lose one. He said there was approximately 4 million immigrated from Germany alone into Canada and the United States, mostly United States, I believe, and every single one of them had a Nordic skull, an oval skull, and all the round face Assyrian skulls did not move, did not go anywhere. Now, that alone is an eye-opener right there. And the white race, when it immigrated to all these countries, they immigrated to the best land on the planet. And that's a fact. That's not a guess. They got the best land on the planet, and therefore all riches come from the land. And I don't know how many hundred years now has it been going on, but they have become rich and powerful and winning wars. They've never lost a major war. And they've developed into powerful nations. But it's going, curvature is going like that now. They usually end 200-300 years. But that is bringing up the thing about, Jacob's trouble, which is the tribulation. And I guess the white race has got that to look forward to, because I think the white race is Jacob people. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But as far as I know, I can't see any other explanation for this. And in the book of Revelation, it spells out all the things that are going to happen. And to me, it's such a humongous big deal. It is bigger than we can imagine. That's the problem. God says, it has never come into the mind of man what I'm going to build and do. It's going to be, and I don't doubt it. I mean, he's the creator of the universe. He is God. He's not a man. We are in his image. Again, I don't imagine he can have many different images, but we are in the one that I imagine is pretty normal for him. And Jesus became a man on earth. And the tremendous promise that is, and so many people don't even know about it, think about it, talk about it, and I cannot see, there's no future for them. There's a dead end, death end, and possibly suffering in the lake of fire and hell, as far as I know. I don't know about that. I can't say yes or no. I mean, that's what it says. But you live, then if you die, and then it's the judgment. And the judgment is, you will go to hell unless Jesus Christ takes your place. And if you don't believe in Jesus, it's pretty hard for him to take your place. Now, you know, it's hard for me to understand that God would allow this to happen that bad. But I mean, he may have some way of mitigating a lot of it, who knows? Because he does say his wish is for all to come to repentance and be saved. Now, I believe that there's been like about 100 billion people so far on this planet. And out of 100, I don't know, I'm guessing, but I think I'm pretty close. And let's say that this boils over next, the way things are shaping up, I don't know. You know, it could be in the next few years. There's things that have to happen first somehow. And they could happen pretty fast. You never know, it could just bang, 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 they happen like that. And then this whole experiment is over. Then God has created, he wanted many sons. Now many is many. 100 million is many. Or 100 billion, I mean. And it won't be all of them, because there's some that he says are horrible, they just won't be able to be in his kingdom. There's lots that don't know anything about it. I'm pretty sure he might have a plan for them. And I don't know how it, I mean, God most likely has it figured out. He knows, right now I'm sure that he knows every single one who he's going to have in his kingdom and who's not. He's most likely well aware of that ahead of time. Nothing that he won't know. So, we don't know that, but I'm sure he does. Can you imagine a city 1,500 miles square? That's 2.2 million square miles. On the first floor. And it's 1,500 miles high. The thing is, I read in the book of Revelation that the 12 gates are for the 12 tribes of Israel, named all on there. The 12 steps going up are for the 12 apostles of Israel and other things. Now, I mean, is it going to be so different that people aren't going to realize that? Or, you know, I mean, what about the Muslims and the blacks and the Chinese and whatever? Is it going to be so different that everything is going to be different, all new, and that there's no big deal? It's going to be just that way. God says he's only going to have sons. Well, he doesn't really say that, but he just said sons. He wants sons. He doesn't want daughters or women. And I can understand that. There's no more requirement of the womb. There's no more marriage. He said no one gets married. No more marriage. So there's no more need for the womb or procreation. It's all done. So the woman's place is not there. The women who believe just as good as a man does, or certain men do, that are saved, believe in Jesus Christ and that he came to earth to pay the price for them, will be resurrected as the same way a man will. A man will be resurrected. He'll be a bit different. I think it says in there somewhere that the resurrected males or the resurrected people or whatever in the coming kingdom will look like a young male, 20-year-old male. Well, the women will be looking like a 20-year-old male. They'll be a male. They'll be the same as a man. Nothing wrong with that. He doesn't want two sexes there battling and fighting, jealousy and vanity and all that. That's what that causes. Satan's full of that. And I think a lot of times he influences women way more than men because of that. As women, big problem is vanity and jealousy. It comes in a lot of cases. Not all, but a lot of cases. Much more than men. You know, women have a problem with, for instance, vanity. They want to be told that they're beautiful, that they're good looking, and they're such good at this, they're so good at that. And then the next day they want to be told that again. I don't know if I did this or if I just thought about it, but we were married for 46 years, and then things happened. But I think my wife asked me, "Do you love me?" And I think I said, "Hey, I told you in 1956. I don't know if I did that or not. I thought it. The thing about this portion of what I'm discussing is my amazement at the fact that there seems to be all kinds of people who are not aware of God's offer or Jesus Christ's offer. Even churches don't preach it enough. You know, God made this deal with the Word before time began, before there was any world, before there was anything. Him and the Word, who was to become flesh, agreed that the Word would become flesh and would die for the sons that he was going to create on this planet that he's going to do. Otherwise, he said, they won't be able to keep my laws. He knew that, because he had made it so that they had to want to do his laws and want to worship him freely. So, if he hadn't done that, he would have had to kill all his sons, because his law is, if you break my commandments, the penalty is death. There's no changing that. He can't change it. He wouldn't change it. So, Jesus died in place of everyone. He was worth everyone. He was equal to the worth of everyone, or more. And God would accept that. Now, that gives you an idea about how God is. God is not a sentimental old man sitting around. No. No. He's all-powerful. He knows everything about you and me and the world and every insect and every bird, every star. He says he's named them all. He said he's counted the hairs on your head. Now, you think about something like that, and it would be wrong not to worship something like that, being who we are. And that's what he wants. He said, there is no other God but me. Don't go and worship some statues or animals or things. He said, I'm a jealous God. And I could see that. I can understand that. He doesn't want people worshiping false deals. So I'm going to most likely cut this off now and maybe go back to them later on a bit. But the thing that is on my mind is that, I mean, I believe my daughter and son-in-law and my wife was not a believer. And she was quiet about it, but she influenced my children. I couldn't even get them to go to church. Now they're growing up and they're secular as heck. And you know, it's a sad thing to me that that can happen. I mean, did I get married, have children and everything for nothing? Hopefully not. I hope that something happens. None of them are baptized. You know, they're sprinkled, but they're not baptized. Lutheran Church pulled that little trick on everybody. That's a Catholic trick. Sprinkled instead of immersion. But that's what happened. And the way of the world is very attractive to people, and they don't want to. They want to be liked. They want to be popular. And they don't want to go against the grain. And so when things go wrong, they don't want to say anything about it. No. You can't discriminate against anybody for anything. I don't think that's right. It's not me discriminating. I don't make laws. I've never made a law in my life. only God can make laws. He's the only one who's got the power to make laws. Governments can make all kinds of rules and regulations they want, but that's just temporary stuff. So I guess it would be nice if I could say, here's what you do this, do that, do this, do that, and you will live forever in a kingdom of God with endless opportunities. That's what's available. It's most likely, in a way, too much for people to grasp. But I believe that the problem is the preachers who are now hired. They work for the church. They don't preach for, beliefs or whatever. They go to work and they get a pension when they've been there long enough. I don't know. The thing is, I can rail about these things all I want, and I won't be able to change it. And I've got to, the more I realize that, the better off it will be for me, because I can't change it. It's going a certain direction, and that's the way it's going to go. There's the thing I can do about it. I can ask God about it, which I had done, and I had answers, and things that, some of them just made me laugh. I couldn't believe it, but it happened. Anyway, I want to go for now. We'll get back together again in a little while. In the meantime, God bless you and keep you.